on that 4x8 at the state meet as well. Picked up victory there. So multiple-time state champion is Braeyln Combe, one of the best in the country. And, you know, it seems like year after year, just so much talent coming through. California, always a challenging place. This last year was a bit interesting. Braeyln Combe mentioned it. You know, she got a chance to race some of the best in the country with the likes of Sadie Engelhardt, Jane Hedengren as well, of course, coming over from Utah. But even with Sadie Engelhardt, it changed kind of the makeup of the California high school running scene as Engelhardt elected to basically run a professional-type season unattached. You know, she had a couple injury issues, but one of the best California's ever seen out of Ventura there, now over at NC State. But could Braeyln Combe be the next in a long line of greats out of California here? She's certainly the favorite here, after picking up that state title over 1,600 meters outdoors this past season. And for Combe, 17:20 her winning time a year ago. Remember, that was on the team side of things. Checking her watch here very early on. Getting calibrated, let's say. But she won the year before as well as a 10th grader over that shorter distance course. She's got a 16:02 personal best that came at Woodbridge over the 3-mile distance. That came at Woodbridge a year ago. This year at Woodbridge, she was 7th, ran 16:11. So let's call it a solid start, if perhaps a bit modest by her own very high standards. But keep an eye on Braeyln Combe out in front. Plenty more to come from that young lady in the cross-country season and the track season as well. Well, you talk about the makeup of things looking a little bit different. No Foot Locker Nationals this year. It had been a mainstay over the decades, the high school cross-country running scene. We will have Nike Nationals, of course, and even those regional meets are so good. They'll be right here on runnerspace. You won't want to miss those, but getting a chance to see some of these athletes at the regular season level, you know, there's head-to-head matchups, there's team matchups. She talked about having her goal of wanting to win state this year at the Division I level for California. She said, hey, the team's got a chance, you know, to do that as well. They were third at that D1 state meet where Santiago, so they would love to put together a great race, state championships in just about a month's time. Coming through this flat portion here on the Valley Loop, this is Braeyln Combe. A good controlled start, let's say. We saw Kiara Daly yesterday really push it hard. I don't know if there's anybody in this field that can hang with Braeyln Combe, but I've certainly been proven wrong before. But she is a confident runner. You have to imagine had a great, long, hard summer of training, putting in the miles, getting ready for her senior season. Twice around the Valley Loop. Before heading into those switchbacks, we'll get the mile mark here shortly as well. Call it 20 meters or so back to the second place chaser. But once again, the heavy favorite here, Braeyln Combe. Heading to Arkansas last year. She's won here before on both of the courses, the shorter course and last year's newly unveiled 3-mile course, both in the team sweepstakes races. So now on the individual side of things, testing her mettle as she cruises through this Valley Loop. Hasn't broken the field yet by any means, but it is early days, just under 4 minutes through this one. You can see the wide shot. She has the strength on the longer distances. She's got some speed as well, 2:09 over the 2-lapper on the track. As I said, that 4:44 miles she ran at the Nike Outdoor Nationals as well. So she's no stranger to going up against some of the best in the state and the country. You know, I mentioned, and she's talked about in some of her interviews, that last year just looked a little different. She actually had a little bit more pressure on her as she was one of the top returners, and in the absence of Sadie Engelhardt in high school competition, at least, she said she got a few more headlines, made her a little bit nervous at first, but She got a chance to race all of those top athletes throughout the summer season as well. Going to that Hoka Festival of Miles and Nike Nationals. So here we go, gearing up for that first big hill, turning the corner into the switchbacks. This is Braeyln Combe. Braeyln Combe, this is a name you're going to be hearing a lot throughout this cross-country and track season. And rightfully so, as she comes through for that first mile. You see the clock there, giving you an indication, but she's looking very, very solid. Very confident is Braeyln Combe, coming through in 5:14. Got about 7 seconds or so on the field. That's Charlotte Hopkins of Arcadia, who's running second. There in 5:22, Addison Johns of Santiago, Combe's teammate, 5:31 through that first mile. So remember, pretty flat. You see the course tracker here, our athletic course tracker providing both the bird's eye view and that topographical map. So these athletes, as they turn this corner, really start to get into the meat of this first hill, and those switchbacks that just really, really test the mentality and the fortitude of these athletes early on. An easy mile, more or less, for the beginning portion, and then the big hill. Charlotte Hopkins of Arcadia, as we said, running second there. This can be a tough place to be in. Kind of in no woman's land, let's say. A little bit of a gap in front of you, a little bit of a gap behind you. You know that Combe is the favorite. You know that you've got a chance to kind of clear the rest of the field as well. I think patience is so key here for someone like Charlotte Hopkins, running there in second for Arcadia, the senior. She had a good run at Woodbridge herself, running 11th in personal best 16:25 over that 3-mile course. Pretty lightly raced so far this year, so this is certainly a meet that is circled on the calendar, if you will, of most of the athletes here throughout Southern California, and I can confidently say that as a Southern California native myself. Mount SAC always means something a little bit special, and for Braeyln Combe, trying to pick up an individual sweepstakes win after a couple of team sweepstakes individual titles. And look at that gap growing. You can see the wide shot. Last year's champion here on this individual side of things, Katya Dunajevich of Canyon Crest Academy, ran 17:39. Crescenta Valley took the team win just by a few points over Arcadia. So it was pretty close. Charlotte Hopkins was third in that race. So trying to upgrade that bronze to at least a silver. It'd be tough to make it gold, but Charlotte Hopkins hanging in gamely there, as we'll come back around. A lot of twists and turns on this course. A lot of, let's call it scenery as well. Like I've mentioned, you see the facilities here and some good observation points. Part of the reason for this Mount SAC redesign, let's say. The full 3-mile course now, as Braeyln Combe takes advantage of the hard surface and the downhill. Open up that stride and cruise on through. You see nobody in shot for her, as we're just under 9 minutes, but we'll flatten out, have a slight uphill before turning the corner again and gearing up for Reservoir Hill. There's Hopkins back in second as Combe turns the corner. But Braeyln Combe has not been challenged, and I like the way that she opened this up. It wasn't a crazy fast start. She had some folks around her in the early, maybe half mile, 3/4 mile, and by the mile mark she had a gap, but it still wasn't huge, and I think she's just slowly pressed on the gas. Credit again to Charlotte Hopkins, who knows this course very well after finishing third in this race a year ago. Also raced on the old course, did Hopkins as a sophomore for La Cañada High School back in 2023, but third, certainly her best finish coming last year on this new 3-mile course. Well, we mentioned we saw a course record get broken on the boys' side. The conditions are great here. Last year's fastest runner, the course record set with this new 3-mile course from Abigail Arrington of South Pasadena, 16:57. And listen, if you can dip under 17 minutes on this 3-mile course, very, very impressive. It is challenging as Hopkins continues to give chase. Braeyln Combe continues to lead for Santiago. As she faces up now down the long line, getting ready to turn the corner, hit Reservoir Hill. We'll cross that 2-mile marker in just a moment. Keep an eye on that clock. Braeyln Combe, as we said, so experienced, the senior. Headed to Arkansas, big-time program. You know that they've got their eyes on this one, certainly. The Razorbacks with a great program on both the men's and women's side. They've just produced incredible runner after incredible runner, and Braeyln Combe, again, has already raced some of the best in the country. He was 41st at the Nike Cross Nationals last year. And third at the California State Meet Division 1. So here we go as Reservoir Hill stares down the face of Braeyln Combe, coming through in 11:12, 5:57 on that mile. Charlotte Hopkins also through the 2-mile marker, 6:09 on her second mile. As you see Hopkins there now, just about 20 seconds back from Braeyln Combe. So as we figured in the preview that this one was going to be all about Santiago's Braeyln Combe, Taylor Big Gambler of Flagstaff, well, she is one that we thought could figure amongst the leaders as well. Led her team to a Arizona State team title last year at the Cross Country State Championships. Maya Hoxie of Lucerna right at 12 flat, 6:24 on the mile. But Braeyln Combe, 11:12. And there you can see the green jersey of Taylor Big Gambler of Flagstaff running in third there. 11:50 for her through that 2-mile. So she's kind of in her own little zone there as well. So our first, second, and third placers as it stands, Combe, Hopkins, and Big Gambler, all kind of in their own little bubbles. It's 20 seconds back from Combe to Hopkins, and another 18 or so back from Hopkins to Big Gambler. You see those marks coming through, those splits through 2-mile. Give you an idea on the team side of things as well. So Braeyln Combe on the downhill now, Reservoir Hill having been conquered, and the two big challenges of this course already under her belt. As we said, she is no stranger to crossing the tape first here at Mount SAC. Victories in the team side of the sweepstakes races over the last 2 years, now contesting this individual race. Downhill, turning the corner. She'll have one more big turn to run down that saddle and go back towards the start line and get prepared for the gauntlet and the final sprint finish there in Hilmer Lodge Stadium. Braeyln Combe, you know, she's on the DieStat watch list, hasn't quite cracked that top 30 on the most recent list, but she would love to make a statement here and prove the point that she should be among the best in the country. She proved it on the track last year, certainly running very quick. But this is her final year in a Santiago jersey, trying to make the most of it. Braeyln Combe. She has nobody near her as she checks the watch, but again, she does have finishing speed if she can dig deep, tap into some of that 2:09 speed that she's shown on the track. 4:44, her mile personal best. It came in the postseason last year as well at the Nike Outdoor Meet. She ran consistently on that 4x8, picked up the Nike Outdoor title as well as the California State title for that relay. And a big team runner is Braeyln Combe. Like I said, she has her individual goals, would love to win that D1 state championship here in California, but would love for the team to win as well. So, yes, this is the individual sweepstakes. There are certainly some team implications that we have our eyes on for the rest of the high school season and the postseason as well. Under Bader Bridge, finish on empty. Nike Run banner reminds our athletes as she now has the track of Hilmer Lodge Stadium in her sights. All about Braeyln Combe here of Santiago out of Corona, California. Third at last year's state meet. Gets to run through a little bit of fog. Charlotte Hopkins of Arcadia was the closest athlete, giving chase through 2 miles, but not even in picture. Keep an eye on that clock. Remember, Abigail Arrington set this 3-mile course record of 16:57 last year for South Pasadena. But Braeyln Combe cruising on through here, nobody around her. Charlotte Hopkins of Arcadia, as we said, running second, doing a great job to hold that silver position and try to upgrade from third a year ago. It looks like she will do just that. But out in front, the story, the headline, and certainly the victory will go to Braeyln Combe of Santiago. Her final time here as a high school athlete on this Mount SAC cross-country course. Already with 2 titles underneath her belt. Why not make it a three-peat? Coming over to the individual side of things now, Braeyln Combe with a statement win here. Can she dip under not just 17 minutes, but the old meet record, 16:57 of Abigail Arrington of South Pasadena? She does, and that record is gone. Getting quicker every year. 16:53, back-to-back meet records here in the individual sweepstakes for Division 1 and 2. Braeyln Combe takes the victory in dominant fashion and a statement lowering the course record there as well. Here comes Hopkins. She will upgrade her bronze from a year ago to silver this year. Hopkins ran 17:51 on this course last year, so a really good finish for her as she goes much quicker. And you can see what I mean there, that Hopkins was in her own little grouping, if you will, a grouping of one, I suppose. Here comes Taylor Big Gambler. Representing for Arizona, Flagstaff coming over. Team champions a year ago in Arizona there, led by Taylor Big Gambler and others. But here comes the team side of things now. You see, after Big Gambler is Addison Johns of Santiago with a really good last mile, 5:56. For Braeyln Combe, 16:53, her winning time, 5:41 on that final mile. Hopkins faded a bit, 17:29, and a 5:56 final mile for her. For Big Gambler, rounding out the top 3, 17:57, 6:06 on her final mile. 2 athletes join Braeyln Combe under 18 minutes. As Combe, of course, sets a new course record, 16:53, and now we look to the team side of things. Warren with 3 athletes through. Flagstaff, we talked about their team depth, got a couple through as well. There's another from Alyssa Nagel. Last year's champion in this race. On the team side, as we said, Crescenta Valley, Arcadia was only 6 points back. Could they improve on the back of Hopkins' improved finish? Westview now out of San Diego with 4 athletes through. Alyssa Nagel got another one coming through. I think they may be in a good position, but here comes Arcadia. Riverside Poly and another athlete from Santiago. So let's get these tallied up here. And again, this is always that portion of the race or the finish, I suppose, where you kind of hold your breath. Coach is getting the calculator out. If you're watching at home, trying to figure out who took the team side of things. And it looks like Santiago, perhaps. As we said, Braeyln Combe, of course, taking victory. Addison Johns with a low stick there as well in 4th, followed up by Lauren Reitley in 24th, Brooklyn Rodriguez in 27th, and rounding out that top 5, Kinsley Whitekavage in 32nd. Alyssa Nagel, as I said, was one of those teams that perhaps could challenge. Aubrey Jones finishing 13th. Camilla Abarca in 16th. Nadia Bonfanti in 22nd. And Brinley Hawkins in 29th. I think Santiago is going to take this one. You know, it's so significant when you get that win, certainly, but it's got to be followed up by the rest of those athletes. That's why it's such a team sport here, that depth. So important, the grouping, all the things that Coach preaches throughout the week and yells from the sidelines, I suppose, as well. He looks high coming through there. If you're a Southern California, well, if you pay attention to Southern California sports, very well-known program there. Produced the likes of Reggie Bush, Alex Smith, and others. Bill Walton back in the day. But it looks like Santiago is going to get the double win here on the back of Braeyln Combe. And as we said, state champion last year on the individual side of things. Riley Blade took that individual title, with Braeyln Combe finishing 3rd at this California state meet. And it just had a great team, but didn't quite have the depth to get it done. They ended up 3rd overall, and this will certainly be a step in the right direction for Braeyln Combe individually and Santiago as a team. Well, that will conclude our individual sweepstakes races. We've got about 5 or 6 minutes till the start of our team sweepstakes races. 2 more to go. The boys followed by the girls, set to begin in just a few minutes here at the 77th Mount SAC Invitational. And we take a look back at how we got here on this girls' individual side of things. Braeyln Combe was the pre-race favorite. You see her on the left of picture there. The conditions are great in the misty morning here, this Mount SAC course. She had her teammate with her there for a little bit, but eventually Braeyln Combe showing the quality of her fitness, pushing on through. Last year's state champion on the track over 1,600 meters. Remember, no divisions on the track. I mean, she was the overall California state champion. Very impressive track season, and she's continuing to roll here in the cross-country season. Her senior year, taking those hills, no problem. Braeyln Combe of Santiago takes the individual victory and leads her team to the team title as well, while setting a new 3-mile Mount SAC course record. Not much else you can do. Braeyln Combe getting the job done here and taking yet another Mount